Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Who's Your Single? I'm Dan Cronin with Fat Bald Guy Racing. Ready to go watch my team play tonight. Got the Fat Bald Guy hat. Maybe go play some golf before the game. It's pretty nice out. But we got some singles this week, so I wanted to go through Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, Turfway, possible singles. Now, tonight, first thing I'm going to tell you is it's nice out here. And when it gets nice, sometimes they come charging from the back. So be careful there. But I'm going all the way to the fourth race. I think the first, second, and third races you can get away with 2, 3, 4 horses. I don't think you got to go really deep. But in the second race, I do think you got to make sure you got the 11 in there that's going to be 8 or 10 to 1. Now, my single's in the fourth race. And I'm going to tell you, you could do fourth or fifth, but I hate singling in 2 pick fives with one horse. So that's why I'm leaning towards the fourth race for the early one and the fifth race for the late one. Major Sparks in the fourth. Class 12-5, 12-5, 12-5. Running third, only getting beat a length. They make a rider change. I'm not sure about this rider change. Bermudez has several wins at Turfway over his career, so I'm not saying he's terrible, but he's not one of the better ones. But the horse is dropping in class. Tracy Wisner wins some races around here. I think Major Sparks is just a clear horse to beat in the fourth race. If you don't like the 4 in the fourth race, then you're not a class handicapper. I'm not saying the horse is a cinch, but based on class, based on speed figs, you got to go to the 4 first. And then if you don't want a single, maybe the 1, 2, 3, and 4 would be the other horses. If you'd rather single the horse in the fifth. The horse in the fifth is pretty obvious to me, at least. Moonlight Gambler, again, as a class handicapper. You got Straight Maiden at Kentucky Downs, runs second to Pharaoh's Wine. Runs fifth, beating 4 lengths to Buchu. And then runs against Egyptian Candy at Keeneland and runs 70 numbers. I know she's coming off the layoff, but Ben Colebrook's fine. She gets Lasix the first time. Machado runs and takes the mount. She's got a ton of really good works at Keeneland. I think Moonlight Gambler is a complete standout in the fifth. That's going to be my single in the late pick 5, and I will make extra tickets in the early pick 5 with her. I think Moonlight Gambler is the obvious single in the late pick 5. So now let's go to Thursday. And sorry, but I have to click through to a different form, and it does take just a second. We are going to go to the third race, and we're going to go to the one horse for Cipriana Contreras, one of my favorite trainers at Turfway Park for years. Tyler Connor's been struggling, but as long as you send, young man, send. You got a couple singles over the next few days that if you just send them, you got to send this horse. Aliman. Wire to wire at Turfway 2 starts back. They decided to try to rate last time. Taking Correa off, putting Connor on. I think that's a good move. From the rail, Aliman is going to be somewhere in that 2 to 1, 3 to 1 range. The first race you could single if you wanted to, but I'm not sure that horse has to win. There's a couple of them in there that can win. I think you got to spread like crazy in the second and the fourth. The fifth race, I like a 6 to 1 shot. You have to check the sheet out for that. And then we go to the late pick 5. Now, you can either have my aggressive single or the chalk. The chalk's in the 8th race. Everybody knows that horse is going to be probably 3 to 5. Wico or Wyco, Wacko, whatever you want to call the horse. Wesley Ward in the 8th race. But there's a horse in the 6th race I think we can get a little aggressive with in the maiden 15, and that is the 4, Trey Chic, CJ Hernandez, Kenny McPeak, Magdalena Racing, coming in from the fairgrounds, ran 2 good, really solid races at the fairgrounds. I really like that last turf race at the fairgrounds. Only got beat 4 lengths. I think the racing down there is better. Third off the layoff, Kenny ships in. The horse is 6 to 1 morning line. I don't know, man. You might get it because they don't always bet Kenny McPeak around here. So 4 horse in the sixth, 6-1, or go to the chalk in the eighth, and you're done for Thursday night. Now, Friday night, I'm not sure we really need to tell you these singles Friday night, because if you can't see these two singles Friday night, I think you're reading different racing forms than I am, because there's 2 horses that just completely jump off the page, and then there's 1 horse in the last race that if you don't want to single the other horse, um, that you could get a little aggressive. But first race at Turfway, I mean, it's like they wrote the race for this horse and just said, "Here, John Ennis, you want to get another win? You're already 10 for 25." The Biscuit takes the mount. Has been running 85, 71, 71, allowance, and 30,000. Why on earth is this horse running in a 7,500 non a 3 race? And then when you look at the race, he caught one of the worst fields ever assembled and a short field, which we almost never see at Turfway. So, King Marvelous, I mean, I don't write these races. You can call me a chalk eater if you want, but if I'm playing the pick 5, I'm not playing against this horse. I would rather just go eat dinner than play against Kid Marvelous. I just, if this horse loses, he loses, but I'm not wasting my hard-earned money and grind all week to bet against this horse in a pick 5 and spend $100, $200 and not use this horse. I think Kid Marvelous is a stone cinch. It just is what it is. So, one of my buddies loves that term. He uses that in the mortgage business all the time about closing costs. It is what it is. He's been using it for 30 years and he lives in an $800,000 house. So he's doing something right. Anyway, 8th race. Now, what are we going to do with Suncroft? Now, I'm more convinced the horse Kid Marvelous is going to win than Suncroft. But when you look at the late pick 5, how do you get around Suncroft? Now, the only hiccup I will say is he did get scratched a couple weeks ago when he looked like a stone cinch then and we were all trying to beat him. Now they put him in even lesser race. I don't know. I mean, the only reason I hesitate just a hair is there are 2 other horses in here that can run a little bit. Scooby Quando, the 11, and Codename, the 9. So there is a possibility that you can go against this one. Although Suncroft, I mean, he's going to be the single for 90% of the tickets. But there is a horse in the last race that I think's probably going to win, that you could single and try to beat Suncroft or just try to crush it, and that's Warrior's Place for Ethan West. Now, he's had a couple shots, and this is a non-2 life for 5,000, so we're talking about slow horses. But you get Concepcion. He had the 12-hole last time. I mean, winning from the 12-hole going a mile at Turfway is almost impossible. Now he gets the 6-hole in a shorter field. He's going to be stalking in that 3rd or 4th area. He's not going to be 7th or 8th. So he should have every rhyme and reason to get a decent trip to win. So Warrior's Place, to me, would be the alternate single, and he's not favored on the morning line somehow. They made the other Ethan West horse favorite, which to me makes no sense. He just broke his maiden and had to come from the twilight zone to do it by an inch. That's not my kind of horse to win 2 in a row. I don't like horses that just broke their maiden to try to win 2 in a row at the cheaper levels. I just don't. But that's the singles for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We're under 10 minutes, and let me tell you, we got some great stuff on Saturday. We already got 2 big-time, first-time starters we've been waiting on. One of them we got to call on. The other one we've had in the bank here for 2 months from the groom, just waiting and waiting for this horse to get in. Finally in. There's a second-timer that looks like a gut at Oaklawn. That Oaklawn card looks great. Brad Cox may win 5 or 6 races on Saturday. I'm telling you now, that guy's loaded. All right, so I'm hoping that we can get some of these aggressive singles home, and we're yelling as they turn for home and pull away. Don't fall off.